Ladies and gentlemen, welcome again to History and Legacy Africa. Just 72 hours after Captain Ibrahim Traoré survived yet another assassination attempt on his life, the 40th attempt since he rose to power, the traditional leaders of Bondokui came out to speak publicly, and their words have shaken the country and the continent. They said plainly that it is not by accident, and it is not only by the bravery of his loyal guards that Traoré is still alive after so many attempts. No, they said it is because the ancestors of his tribe have chosen to protect him. They take credit, saying that the reason every bullet has missed, the reason every plot has failed, the reason every enemy has been exposed, is because the spirits of his ancestors are standing guard over him day and night. Now let us pause for a moment and think about this, because it is not something small. 40 assassination attempts, not 4, not 14, but 40. In the world of politics, even one attempt can succeed and bring down a leader. But here we are talking about 40, and still, Traoré walks strong. Still he speaks boldly. Still he governs without fear. The elders of Bondokui are telling us that this is not possible without the invisible hand of the ancestors. Many people are now asking themselves many questions. Are the ancestors really the ones protecting Traoré? How exactly do they protect Traoré? And how long will this protection last? Brothers and sisters, you know very well that in African history, leaders were never just political figures. They were spiritual too. They ruled not only with armies and swords, but with blessings of the ancestors and guidance from the spirits. From the kings of Mali to the Ashanti of Ghana, from the warriors of the Zulu to the chiefs of the Mossi, no one dared to lead without spiritual backing. Could it be that Traoré is walking that same ancient path, and that is why all the forces of destruction are failing against him? The traditional leaders of Bondokui say that as long as the ancestors stand with Traoré, no plot, no bullet, no poison, no betrayal will succeed. They say his enemies are wasting their time. They will keep trying, but every time they will fall into shame. The question now is, how long will this last? Will the ancestors protect him until his mission is complete? Or is there a day when the protection will be lifted? Only time will tell. But for now, the message from the elders is clear. Ibrahim Traoré is not walking alone. Brothers and sisters, to understand what the elders of Bondokui are saying about Traoré, we must first look back at our own African history, because this is not the first time people have spoken of leaders who are untouchable, who are shielded by the spirits of their ancestors. Think of the great Mansa Musa of Mali, the richest man the world has ever known. The griots still sing that when he rose to power, he was not only strong because of gold and armies, but also because of the ancestors who walked with him. They say his decisions carried a kind of weight, as if guided by forces beyond him. Think also of Shaka Zulu in the south, the warrior who built a nation with discipline and fearlessness. Many stories say his victories were not just from strategy, but from the blessings of the ancestors, who gave him courage when others would have run. You see, in African traditions, no true leader stands alone. Before a man becomes king, before he sits on the stool, before he wears the crown, there are blessings, there are sacrifices, because the people believe that without the ancestors, no man can truly lead. The ancestors become the shield, the guide, the source of wisdom, and the silent army behind the throne. So, when the elders of Bondokui say Traoré is being protected by his ancestors, they are not inventing a new thing. They are only reminding us of the old ways, the ways we have always known, the ways the colonizers tried to erase, but could not. Never before in our recent history has a leader survived 40 assassination attempts. Think about it. 40 times enemies have planned, organized, and launched attacks. 40 times they have failed. To many Africans, this cannot be ordinary. They say only the ancestors could explain such a record of survival. They say France, with all its power, has tried and tried, but cannot succeed, because the spirits of the land are saying no. Ibrahim Traoré was born in Bondokui, a small village in western Burkina Faso, located in the Boucle du Mohun region. He comes from the Mohun tribal belt, where the traditions of the Mande and Marca peoples still run deep. This is not just a rural region. This is a spiritual powerhouse, a place where oral history is passed down with precision, where families still call on the ancestors before planting, before battle, before leadership. Traoré's people are known for their deep connection to the land and the spirits, especially the protective spirits of the forest, the river, and the mountain. These spirits are not metaphors. They are believed to live among the people, watching, guiding, and sometimes punishing those who disrespect balance and justice. In this region, the community doesn't wait for foreign ideas of religion to define morality. The ancestors are the law, the spirits are the constitution, the elders are the interpreters. And that is the system that raised Traoré. He grew up not just learning military discipline, he learned spiritual discipline. He learned that before you fight with weapons, you fight with wisdom. He learned that before you lead men, you must first be approved by the elders and by the ancestors. It is said that before Traoré stepped into politics, his people performed a secret traditional ritual to ask the spirits whether he should take the mantle of leadership. The answer came through visions, through dreams, through divination, and the answer was yes, but only if he remained humble and walked in truth. That is why you will never see Traoré wear gold chains or live in a palace. He is not just avoiding greed. He is obeying a spiritual code. Let us go deeper into the spiritual power of his tribe. The Marca and Mande people, which his region descends from, are not just known for their language or farming. They are known for producing some of the fiercest warriors and spiritual defenders in West African history. These are descendants of the same civilization that once followed Sundiata Keita, the great founder of the Mali Empire. Their griots still sing songs of battle, of kings, of broken chains. Their priests, known as Kamalen Danso, are trained from childhood to read signs in nature, speak with spirits, and protect the chosen ones. These traditions have not died. They are still alive in the villages of Burkina Faso, and they are watching over Traoré. There are whispers across the land that every time a coup is planned, a spiritual alert is sounded. The ancestors are said to visit the dream of a priest or an elder. They warn them. They reveal the names of traitors. They even cause confusion among those plotting evil. It is believed that in the last attempted coup, the spiritual guardians around Traoré created sudden conflict among the plotters, making them turn on each other before they could act. This is not fantasy to the people. This is fact. And even those in power know it. That is why many of Traoré's closest security advisors are not just soldiers. They are initiated guardians of tradition. They consult the spirit world before major decisions. They pour libation before national events. They fast and perform secret rites before battles. If you watch Ibrahim Traoré carefully, you will notice he rarely brags. He does not provoke enemies. He is bold, but never reckless. Why? Because he follows spiritual discipline. He is said to visit his village in secret, not just to greet elders, but to renew his spiritual protection. He participates in night vigils. He walks barefoot during certain fasts. He never accepts public praise without first deflecting it to the people. This is not politics. This is ancient wisdom. It is the belief that no man can stand alone without the blessing of those who came before. It is the understanding that pride brings downfall, but humility brings protection. This is why the West cannot understand him. They see a young man with no international training, no big education from Europe. Yet he moves like a storm. He speaks like a prophet. And the people will die for him. They don't understand that he is not standing alone. He is standing on the shoulders of generations of warriors, priests, farmers, and kings. Now let us speak clearly. There have been at least 40 attempted coups on Traoré since he took power. But none of them have succeeded. Some have collapsed mysteriously. Some were exposed before they began. Some were betrayed from within. People are asking, how? And the answer from the elders is simple. The ancestors are awake. There are stories of would-be traitors having nightmares that drove them mad. Stories of commanders who suddenly changed their minds at the last minute. Stories of protective spirits appearing in places they should not be. You don't have to believe it. But the people do. And that is what matters. Because when a leader is believed to be protected by the spirits, it changes everything. It creates a fear among enemies. It creates unity among citizens. It creates a force that cannot be explained by guns or money. Traore is not seen as a man. He is seen as a vessel of ancestral power. And when a people believe that, they will rise with him. Now let us come to the point. Why does this matter? Why should Ghana, Nigeria, Congo, Kenya, and South Africa care? Because this is a new chapter for African leadership. A chapter where leaders are not chosen by foreign approval, but by ancestral calling. A chapter where the spirits of the land are honored again. A chapter where leaders do not rule through fear, but through spiritual alignment. Traore has started something dangerous to the old system. Because he is showing Africans that real power comes from within. That we don't need to pray to the West, that our ancestors are still here, and that when we walk in truth, we cannot be defeated. This is why the West wants him gone. Because if this spreads, if every African leader starts reconnecting with their roots, their people, and their land, then the age of puppets is over. Imagine an Africa led by men and women who are accountable not just to constitutions, but to the spirit world. Imagine governments where the elders have a voice, not just as decoration, but as guardians of balance. Imagine politics guided not by greed, but by purpose. It is possible, and it has already begun. This is History and Legacy Africa. If this story shook you, share it. If you believe in the unseen hands of our ancestors, speak it. And if you want to see a continent that walks in truth and power again, subscribe and walk with us. Until next time, honor your roots, protect your truth, and never kneel.